How's it going? Welcome! Glad you can join me in the ranking every Pokemon starters tier list. Basically, you know the drill here. We got all the final evolutions of every single starter from every Pokemon generation. And then obviously we got tiers S to D that we gotta rank them in. So we are kind of focusing on the final evolution of the starters here because that's really the most important one, the one you're going to be using for the longest time. But that being said, we're still going to factor in the other evolutions, but they're not going to be as important as the final one in the ranking. And with all that said, let's just rank these starter Pokemon. Okay, so we're starting off with the Kanto starters here. We're starting off with Venusaur. I don't know exactly where I'm going to place all these Pokemon. I mean, we have a lot to rank here, but I think I'll place them in A tier for now. I mean, all these Pokemon are going to be subject to change until the final tier list, but for now, Venusaur should be an A tier. And this guy's pretty cool. I do like the design of Venusaur and the whole line for that matter. And he's grass poison, which actually is a pretty good type, especially for a starter. And I like how the flower grows throughout his evolutions. He just got a pretty solid concept and a pretty cool looking design at that too. And then we have Charizard as well. And it's another great design Pokemon. It's a fire dragon, come on. And I'm going to put him at the top of A tier above Venusaur. Now, not S tier, because I think I'm getting a bit tired of Charizard, because they use him in like every promo, every game. But that being said, it's still a great design Pokemon. He's a fire dragon. I mean, that makes too much sense to not be a Pokemon. His tail is always on fire. His whole evolutionary line, every design is good there. And there's really not too many downsides with this Pokemon. And at that, he's a pretty powerful one to use in battle as well. Alright, and then we got Blastoise, the last of the Kanto starters here. And I like this guy a lot. This is going to be my first S tier pick, okay? This guy is a tank combined with a turtle. That's just a cool concept. I really like his design, and his two little cannons there are pretty cool, how he uses like Hydro Pump and all his other moves like that. That's really nice. He's only a water type, which is the only single type out of the Kanto starters. But that being said, he's got such a cool design, and I like Squirtle too. He's awesome. That it could not be anywhere but S tier. It's a great Pokemon. Okay, and moving right along here, we have the JoJo Starters, and we're starting off with Meganium. Now this thing, it gets quite a bit of hate, and I don't really know why. I mean, okay, I kind of see why, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it's kind of cool. And for now, I'm going to put it at the end of A tier. I think that's where it should go. But it's pretty cool. It's like this grass dinosaur thing with this big pink flower as its main of sorts. That's kind of the concept here. And I just think it's a solid looking Pokemon. I like its stats spread too. It matches the whole vibe. It's a bulky dinosaur and it's really defensive that way. I do like Chikorita, kind of the best in this line, but I will agree that Bayleaf to Meganium is kind of an underwhelming evolution. And yeah, the design overall I think is pretty good. Like, I like how this thing looks. I like this stats. And it's just a solid grass type. And then the next Johto starter here is Typhlosion. Now, I don't really know where to put this thing either, to be honest. For now, I'm going to put it right at the end of A tier. I think. I might change this, but yeah, I'll just leave him there for now. Now, he's pretty cool. I don't know, I forget what this thing's based on, but he's like this fire rodent thing of sorts. Don't know. I just know it looks cool. And when he does his attacks, like his flames spring out like that. He's got equal stats to Charizard, so he's really offensive and fast that way. He's one of the few Pokemon that knows Eruption, so he can use that move offensively. And he's just a pretty cool, solid Pokemon. And then we have Totodile, the last of the Johto starters here. And I do like him the best, I will say. I'm going to put him at the top of A tier. No, you know what? I'm going to put him bottom of S tier. For Alligator. That's what I'm doing. It's just a really solid design, I think. A water alligator. Come on, that's good. I mean, great color scheme. I like the spikes on his head. I like how he's kind of like a physical attacking alligator of sorts here. And yeah, I do like Totodile as well. I think he's pretty great. Croconaw is a bit weird. That's the one evolution I'll say is so-so, right? But Totodile, and especially for Alligator, look awesome. They just feel, you know, badass to use one of these things on your team, right? Look how angry he is. Just look at his face in his eyes. You don't want to mess with that. Alright, and now we have the Hoenn starters here. We're obviously starting with Sceptile. And I don't know, it's another great Pokemon. I don't know what to say here. I'd say end of A tier is what I'd go with. Overall, I think the Sceptile line probably has the most solid each stage evolution, if that makes sense. Like, Trico's awesome, Grovile's awesome, and Sceptile's pretty good too. He's a really fast grass type. I think at the time, he was the fastest grass type, don't quote me on that, but that's what I remember him as. And he's got a lot of cool, unique moves, like a Leaf Blade at the time was pretty neat. And I just kind of like his design. He's like some gecko looking thing. I don't know if that's what he was going or based off of, but that's what he looks like to me. And he's got a big bushy tail and then like just a cool face, man. Just a cool design right there. And that's why I like him. And then the next starter we got here is Blaziken from Hoenn. And this guy's pretty cool as well. I'm gonna put him, let me see. I'd say bottom of S tier. That's where Blaziken goes. Now this guy did start the whole firefighting trend, which is already a knock against him, but he was the first of its kind to do it, so we weren't tired of it at this point in time. And look at his design, he's like a fighting chicken, okay? Fighting fire chicken. Maybe that doesn't sound too epic, but they just took that design somehow and made it into this great Pokemon with awesome stats too. He had a cool new move, Blaze Kick, at the time, and just a lot of other things to make him stand out from other fire starter Pokemon, so he was awesome. And then we have Swampert, okay? Swampert's here, and I like this guy a lot too. Come on, look at this. Just look at the design of this guy. I'm gonna put him very top of S tier. So far, he's the best design, I think. And not even because of this whole Mudkip meme, okay? I actually like him before any of this nonsense started, alright? He's just Swampert. Mudkip's a cool Pokemon too, like I kind of alluded to. I like his design, I like Swampert's design. Marshtomp's alright, okay? But Swampert and Mudkip bring this guy up. And he's got one of the best types, I mean, water ground. He's pretty defensive, but still has offensive stats. And he's just all around a great Pokemon and a great design Pokemon as well. Now I just realized the first 3 generations are all A and S tiers for me. I don't know if that's a little bias coming through, but hey, it is what it is. That's how I put these designs. But now we're moving on to a new generation, Generation 4 here, and we have Torterra. And this is gonna be the first B tier, maybe? First B tier Pokemon, I'd put him there. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stick with B tier for now. Maybe I'll reevaluate this tier list in just a bit, but for now, we got a B tier. Now, honestly, I like everything about his design and kind of his Pokemon, his type 2, except for what's going on his back here. He's got literally a landscape, alright? He's got a mountain, he's got a tree, like he's growing a mini world on his back for some reason. That doesn't really make too much sense for me. I mean, I like what they're going for. I think they could have used the turtle, grass, earthy turtle design in a different way, but you know what? He still looks pretty decent. I like his okay? I like his design. Nothing more. And then we got the next starter of the Sinnoh Pokemon here. We have Infernape, a fire monkey, a firefighting monkey at that. And I'm gonna put him at the top of B tier for now. Yeah, at the top of B tier is where I'm putting Infernape. I kind of like his design. I don't know if I'm big into this monkey kind of look he's got going, but he does work as a fire monkey. I like how his head's like a torch or something like that. It looks kind of ridiculous, but very fitting and very great for a fire type Pokemon, right? And a really offensive Pokemon. You can use like close combat on this thing, Brick Break, Flare, does it get Flare Blitz? I don't know, Flamethrower definitely gets that, and you can use all these great moves for just offensive fire monkey here. And yeah, that's why I kind of like Infernape. I just like these designs better. There's nothing really bad about this guy, but just these are better, come on. And then we have Employeon here. I do like this thing. I actually really like this design. I'm gonna put it, I think mid-A tier. Mid-A tier, right between these two. That's where I'd say I place it. Now, it is a steel penguin. What? That's a weird concept to begin with, but it actually works out pretty well. His face is literally a trident. That's pretty interesting and creative at that. And then he's got these like steel penguin wings or flappers, whatever the hell penguins are supposed to have. He's got those, so he's like a battle armored penguin with a trident on his face. That's really cool looking to me. I will say his little tuxedo white thing is kind of weird. That's the one weird thing about him, but it is fitting for a penguin, and everything else about his design I really like, so that tiny detail really won't bring him down. I like this design a lot, and I love the type. Water Steel is one of the best types, I swear. And also Piplup, come on. Just look at Piplup. You can't be mad at something that looks at you like that. But now, moving on to Gen 5 starters, another generation. And we're starting off with a Superior here, as we can see. It's this like grass snake looking thing. And for now, I'm gonna put Superior at the top of B tier. Now, you know what? It's simple, but it's effective, right? It's a grass snake. I guess a gardener snake, if you will. So it starts off as this Snivy thing, which is a pretty cool Pokemon at that. And then we got Servine, I believe it's called. And then it loses all of its limbs and goes full on snake for its final evolution, Superior. Now it is a very fast and defensive Pokemon, which is an interesting spread for a starter especially. I don't know too many fast and defensive Pokemon, so that was kind of an interesting, unique thing about this. And it just had probably the coolest designs. I like how, I guess, royal the thing looked with its almost collared look to it, and it just looks at you with its head up in the sky like it doesn't care. And it's just a solid design overall. Okay, and then we got the next starter here. We have Emboar, and this is gonna be the first C tier Pokemon. Like, I don't know, this thing looks kind of weird to me. It's this whole fire pig. It's got a weird fiery mane of sorts, but it's not really a mane. It goes around its back and then its front in a weird way, so I don't really know what's going on here. And of course, it's another firefighting, which is, you know, it's not great. Okay, let's be honest, we've seen enough of these. It was the third time in a row, so that didn't help anything for this Pokemon, right? I mean, it has a few cool exclusive moves. I think it was like Fire Crash or something along that matter. But as far as design, it looks kind of goofy. It's a pig up on all fours like that. Its middle evolution wasn't all that better. Maybe its first one was a bit, but this thing at the end is like, okay, it's not awful. It's not awful. It looks pretty strong and like a fighting pig. Yeah, that's exactly what it's going for. But yeah, you can't say it's great design by any means, can you? Okay, and then we got the next, the last 5th evolution starter here, and it is Samurott. And this thing's alright. It's not a C tier, but I'd say end of B tier is where I'd go with it. The design, okay, its design's kind of weird, but kind of sick at the same time. So I don't even know. Like, his mustache, his beard is kind of weird. His stance is a bit goofy as well. But he's got this cool horn and he looks like pretty badass, like these ancient dinosaur fishes like that. So I don't know, it's a bit indifferent. It's not bad. It's definitely not like Emboar or like other things we'll get into. But there's nothing that great about this thing, if you know what I mean. Okay, so just a quick adjustment to the tier list. I think I'm gonna move Feraligatr above Blastoise. I just, you know, you can't not like Feraligatr. Just look at him. But moving on from that, we have the Generation 6 starters here. And the first one we got is Chestnut over here. And I don't really know about this guy. Like, he gets a lot of hate, but he's not really that bad. But he's not that great. I'm gonna put him at the end of B tier. I think that's a solid place for him. Like, he looks kind of weird. He's supposed to be the grass starter, and he's got this weird light color palette with only a touch of green, so he barely even looks like a grass type to begin with. And then he's got this kind of awkward big shell that he's just carrying on his back. So there's a lot of weird, kind of almost awkward design choices about this thing. But then, come on, he's got these cool ass arms. He's like built. He literally looks like a tank that can take anything. It's a really cool design for a defensive type, but I don't know. There's a lot of weird things that look about him too. He's got a cool move, Spiky Shield. That was kind of his big new thing at the time. So it's, yeah, he's got that going for it. But I don't know. He looks good, but at the same time, there's a lot of awkward things that bring him down. And then we got Delphox here. Oh boy, Delphox, eh? D tier. That's what I call a D tier. Now, okay, backstory for X and Y. I choose Fennekin, right, the fox. It looks like this cool fox. I didn't look at any of the evolutions. But then it evolves twice into this weird wizard thing that stands on 2 legs, has a fire stick as a wand, and its ears, look at its ears. It's got hair coming out of its ears that looks like fire. They designed ear hair in a Pokemon. What? Am I missing something? It's a shame, because I do like the first evolution of this whole thing, but as it evolves, it just keeps getting worse and worse, and by the time it's fully evolved, I don't like the look at all. Like, fire ear fox, okay? Fire coming out of your ears that looks like hair. Come on. Yeah, honestly, like, I usually like to say some good things about these designs, but I mean, okay, I like its face. I think it's a cool kind of face there, except for the ear part, but take that aside. But it looks weird. It looks like a human mixed with a fox with a stick that's on fire. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but this thing is not for me. Okay, then we got Greninja, the last of the Gen 6 starters here. And this thing actually looks pretty cool. I'm going to put it at the end of A tier. I think that's a solid spot for it. You know what? I can't even lie. It's going to go up a few spots. I think sort of mid A tier. Like, I don't know. This A tier is all pretty solid, so don't really look at these placements too in depth. Kind of just what tier they're on is more important in the ranking. Okay? Because I don't know, I feel like these 5 in the middle could go any which way, but yeah, who knows, don't take this too seriously, it's just a fun little tier list ranking, okay? But anyways, for Greninja, he's a water frog ninja. That's just a cool concept for a Pokemon, come on. He's super fast, super mobile, he's got a really interesting ability, and this ability just turns the type of him into the move that he's using, so he always gets same type attack bonus. He's really good for competitive scene, and is just a fast, speedy Pokemon. And also, it's a really cool design. Like, all 3 of his evolutionary stages have a great design. It's just a solid pick. Like, no wonder they chose him for Super Smash Bros., you know? Okay, and Gen 7 already. And we're starting off with the Decidueye here. This ghost owl thing. I'd say, you know, mid B tier. Oh, yeah, that's where I'd kind of place it. Like, I do like the type. Ghost and Grass is a really unique type that... Oh, we've seen it in Trevenant, okay, but they brought it back again, and I do like the type. And okay, we saw it in the pumpkin thing, but regardless, we haven't seen a starter have it. And yeah, he's like this archer owl thing, and you know, it's alright. His face is kind of weird, but his design, how he's got the wings, he's got a kind of a mystery kind of look to him. I like all that. There's nothing really too great about him, but there's nothing bad about him. Like, I don't even know. He's kind of he just is what he is. He's not that great. Not that bad. Alright, and then we have an Incineroar here. Okay, this thing's kind of weird, but it kind of looks cool at the same time. I'm gonna put him, I think, right behind Decidueye. That's where you should go. Like, okay, so we got this time a dark and fire Pokemon. I love that type, it's great. But then he looks all humanoid, and he's like a wrestler with biceps, like a cat wrestler with biceps. Again, I think they should have just left him on all 4s like his 2 evolutions before. But regardless, he doesn't look bad, okay? He's still got a pretty good design to him, but he's got kind of weird hands, and he just looks too human for me. It's just really off-putting, and he doesn't look that Pokemon-ish, if you get what I mean. Kind of like just a guy in a costume as a Pokemon. But he's still solid. I can't knock the design too much, but that one just aspect of it just makes him look weird for me. Alright, but then we got the last of the Gen 7 starters here, Primarina. And I'm going to put this thing top of C tier. Now, I get what it's going for, and I think with a few tweaks, this thing could actually look really cool, like a few tiers up. But as it stands now, it's like a seal mermaid with hair and a weird nose kind of thing. I think if they just stick with one of these concepts, like maybe just a seal, and made it look cool like that, it would have been a bit better, but I don't get the hair and then the mermaid combined with a seal. That's weird, man. I don't care what you say. That just doesn't look weird. Or doesn't look right. But I do like its stats and its ability. It's got like a fairy water. But I don't know. Everything about this design is like flawed. It's not horrible, okay? I'm not gonna say it's horrible. But I don't know. It's not good either. I can't say it's good, I'll tell you that. But anyways, enough of ripping on Gen 7 starters. Let's rip on Gen 8 starters. So we got Rillaboom here, the first one, this grass gorilla. And honestly, I do like this thing. Like, people say this one's not a great starter, but I disagree. I think it's like middle of the pack, top of B tier, I'd put it in. Alright, so it's like a monkey, drummer, gorilla. Pretty interesting. It's got a lot of ideas just combined into one, by the sound of it at least. But I think it's solid. He looks like strong when you send him into battle. Gorillas on their own just look pretty tough as is, and when you give him like a drum and then this grass type to him, it just blends a few concepts really well together. Like, yes, I'm not a huge fan of the drummer thing, but everything else just kind of makes up for it. And his hair's kind of odd, but at least it's fitting, okay? It's a vines as his hair because he's got like this frizzy rock star hair like a lot of British bands had. Okay, and then we have Cinder Ace over here. This is like the people's favorite of the new Gen 8 starters. But I don't know, this thing's weird. I'm gonna put it end of C tier. Like, okay, for positives, I like its stats and its special move, Pyro Ball, right? It's really powerful, it's got a great ability. I think it's the same ability as Greninja's, or it works the same way. So it's great for competitive, to be honest. But in terms of design, what happened here? Honestly, I don't even like, I think the first stage, Score Bunny, looks pretty good. But then after that, I don't know what's going on with the designs here. This thing's head, his forehead is way too big. It literally looks like a bunny wearing soccer player's clothes, just trying to play soccer. It's weird. And I don't know, if they stuck with the bunny concept, it might have been better. But I don't know, these human Pokemon combined with a bunny, combined with a soccer player, and then throw fire in the mix, none of it makes sense to me. It's just very odd, not that great design in my opinion. And then, last but the least, we have Inteleon, which is the very end of D tier. Now, okay, this thing's about as weird as you can get with a starter Pokemon. It is supposed to be based off this whole James Bond thing, but again, it's like a human Pokemon. It's weird. And then it's got a weird cape when it stretches its arms. His hands look stupid. I'll say that right now. His hands are way too big. It's got like he's got weird gloves on, but he doesn't have gloves because he's a Pokemon and that's just his skin. I don't know, it doesn't really make too much sense. Nothing about this design I really like. Plus his tail looks weird too. Everything is just weird. He's too like lanky, too skinny, none of his proportions make sense. And then his pre-evolutions, honestly, they're all pretty well the same. They look weird. They just look odd. I'm gonna say it. They look bad. They look bad. I don't like this design, really. And there we have it. This is my list. I guess we left on quite the sour note over here, but hey, it is what it is, you know? This is what I think of these designs, and that's it. And I think this is pretty good. I don't really see too many changes I would make to it. This is generally how I place them. Not too many C and D tiers, because I generally do like the starters. They're well designed, but yeah, with a few exceptions, obviously. And let me know what your list is going to be, because I'm curious to see all your opinions. I know starter Pokemon, it's really all preference, right? But that's it. This is it for me. This is my opinion on the matter, and I'll see you guys in the next video.